Hello, everyone. My guest today is Guillaume Moubeche. If you haven't heard of him or his company, he's running a tool called Lemlist, which is growing extremely quick. He just broke $2 million in ARR, and maybe north of that. It's a platform that helps sales teams book more meetings and close more deals with their prospects. In less than 2.5 years, again, they've grown that team to 8,000 plus customers without any funding, totally bootstrapped. He's also the founder of the Sales Automation family, which he calls the coolest and biggest Facebook community about sales automation. Guillaume, you ready to take us to the top?
Of course I am, Nathan. Thanks for having me.
You do have a bit of a cool factor to you. You stay very close to customers. You record videos in that group every day. You engage with them. How do you have so much time to stay so engaged with 8,000 customers?
I'm not alone, first of all. So I have a great team helping me out. But I think for me, it has always been important that our users are really successful. So I invest all my time and energy in that specific purpose, and I don't do anything else. So I try to say no to many things that are irrelevant to helping our customers. And so my focus is very narrow.
What's like the number one thing that you get asked about that you have to just continue to decline over and over again?
I guess like I keep helping. I don't do that for all of our customers, but I keep helping people if they are in need, for advice on how to set up, their outbound pipeline. So that's something where I'm doing like kind of like free consulting sessions, depending on some customers, where I could just like spend maybe like either 20 minutes recording a video for a customer, like going through his cold email templates, see how things are set up, all these type of things, and always trying to help. But I think it's also part of the DNA of the team. So now I'm not the only one doing this, and it's easier to scale, I would say.
Well, what does the team look like today? How many folks?
So we were like 12 people when we reached 2 million in ARR. And in September 2020, we're going to be 19 people.
Okay, so 12 right now. How many engineers?
Engineer team is my 2 co-founder plus 2 more people and 3 more people now. So it's 5 total.
5 total. Interesting. And do you have any quota carrying sales reps, or no? They just focus on helping your customers?
So we have like 2 person in the support that I'm going to call like outreach experts. We have 1 sales like SDR who's in charge of outbound prospecting. And then the rest is more like growth and marketing. So content and helping users to basically find the best resources and be successful in their sales prospecting.
Guillaume, do any of them carry a quota or no?
What do you mean? Like for the sales rep?
Sales target, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like our SDR, like she has a quota of a deal that she need to close.
Okay, so there's 1 quota carrying person sort of on your team.
Yeah, and then it's more like we have objectives and goals, but based on the growth, like monthly growth. So everyone is basically like incentivized on the same goal, which is MRR.
How do you incentivize that? It's not easy to get these incentive structures right.
Yeah, so we do that per quarter. So we have like we do that exactly the same as way like we incentivize like sales team. So it's for example, because I know a lot of people, they're trying to put bonuses on number of qualified leads, marketing qualified leads, sales qualified leads. But I think this is a bit bullshit. I think it's too complicated, and I think people tend to always optimize things based on. So for example, if I tell you, you need to reach that amount of marketing qualified leads. What you're going to try to do is book, let's say, as many meetings you can for your sales team. However, the quality of the lead is not going to be that great. However, if everyone is focused on growing the MRR, and then we set up like the MRR goal at the beginning of each quarter, now everyone is focused on one thing, which is revenue, and revenue for us equals profit. So it's like everyone goes to the same direction, and I think it's like it's a better way to incentivize. So we have like different levels, and each level you reach, you will get a bonus, and then you have like higher levels and higher bonuses.
Can you walk us through this a bit more? So June ended the second quarter. You guys, it sounds like broke that 2 million run rate right around there. That's an easy number to talk to. So your team meeting at the end of Q2 and you're setting goals for Q3. What is the new MRR target for Q3, Q4?
Yeah, so our goal essentially was to do like 5x from December 2019 up to like December 2020. So the monthly goal is, I think it's around like 14 to 60% each month over month growth rate. So I think it's 16% to reach like 5x. more or less. And basically, this is the goal for the year. So we don't really adapt anything. So the growth, for example, if it's faster, and then we cut it per quarter. So for example, if the growth was like faster in, let's say, I don't know, April and March, or like in Q2, if the growth is faster than 16%, then, like the goal at the end of Q3, it would still be the same as I decided at the beginning of the year.
I see. So what was revenue in December of 2019?
So in December 2019, we were around a bit less than $1 million.
Yeah.
So I think it was like 600K or something like that.
Yeah.
So so it's 6 times 5. Yeah. Wait, it's something like 600K ARR or something.
Yeah, because so you came on in March of last year, and you were at about 250,000 in MRR. So through last year, you 3x'd, or maybe more than 3x'd. And what you're saying is between December of last year, when you're at 600 in ARR, and 2 or 3 months from now in December of this year, that's crazy, by the way. We have like 3 months left, 4 months left in the year. But end of this year, you want to be up in the 2.53 million ARR range.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's what's the reward? How do you incent the team? So let's say everyone hits the goal. What's the reward?
They get like a bonus on their salary and a big smile.
Yeah, I like the smile part. But there are people that are going to listen to this and are going to want to copy you because they're going to like the model. They're going to agree with you that like MQL, things are like bullshit to incentivize these things. So let's not talk about any one of your individual employees, but let's say I was one of your employees and my base was 50,000 a year, just hypothetically, and we hit this goal. What would I make on top of the 50K?
So the goal is basically, let me say, it's like 25. So it's every quarter you can get 25% of your salary, of your monthly salary.
Every quarter I can get. So what is that? What would that mean? Let's make my salary easier. Let's say it's 100 grand. The numbers are just easier. So what would that actually mean?
So it would mean that you can. So if it's 100 grand, it means let's say 120. So it's 10K each month.
Yep.
It would essentially mean that per year, if you reach your goal, you can get like a bonus a bit higher than 10% at the end of the year.
Got it.
If you reach your goal each quarter, the total would be a bit more than 10%. So a bit more than 10K.
I see. So if I help the team hit our 15 to 16% monthly growth goal or 5x year over year goal, I will make an extra maybe 12 grand on my 120K salary.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and the only reason I would readjust the goal is if the first 2 quarters we wouldn't hit the target. So for example, because I know like Q1 is really strong, Q2 is also really strong for us. I know Q3 is sometimes a bit like less strong because you have July and August, where those are the months where we sometimes see small companies, especially like cheap French bastard, that usually decide to churn and come back in September. So it's usually like a bit less growth in July, August, more people on holiday. But then I know September is strong, and then again December is a bit less strong. But I know October and November are really strong as well.
Interesting. Okay, so how many customers are you now serving today?
So regarding our customers, we launched on AppSumo. So essentially that was kind of like our let's say bootstrap round of funding, and at that time we had so I would say like 8,000 something customers, and basically now you would add, so those were not recurring, those were mainly like a lifetime user. In recurring, we have more than 3,000 companies paying on a monthly basis, and total customer is more than 10,000.
Got it. Yeah. So 3,000 recurring. Then you have 5, 6, 7, 8,000 or so from that AppSumo lifetime deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
absolutely. Did you uncover any strategy that was particularly effective in converting the AppSumo one-timers to true recurring plans? A lot of people that go through AppSumo, the ones that love it are the ones that convert them to recurring well. The ones that hate it are the ones that don't end up converting them well.
Yeah, I think it's very tough to convert a lifetime deal user into a paying customer. The only way to do that would be to frustrate most of them and say try to upsell them on specific feature. For us, we're really very honest in what we served when we decided to make that lifetime deal. So we said, you're going to get all the upgrades, because that's why, we decided, like, we launched with you guys. You helped us have the foundation of our community, and we're okay with that. We could be like very sneaky and try to say like, yeah, if you want to get that type of feature, you have to become like a paying customers. And I'm sure we could convert some of them, but I wouldn't feel like fair. So I prefer having them are really like strong advocates, and just keep focusing on getting like more people, because the market is like so huge. We don't really need to go after those customers, I think.
Mm-hmm. And remind everyone, so when you did launch on AppSumo, what was the lifetime plan? Do you remember how much?
Yeah, so it was like they were paying like $49 to get like the lifetime. At that time, we were not charging any of our customers, so it was actually like the best way for us to launch and start making money, getting users, get feedback. And within 2 weeks, we made something around like $170,000, which was like really good, like to start a SaaS company. It's quite nice.
That was net to you after the AppSumo fee, right?
No. So that was like revenue, and AppSumo took around like 70% of that. But then we did another round with AppSumo, and we made like another like $200,000 sales. And I think so total with AppSumo, essentially we made, I think, $150K.
Yeah. I was gonna say, doing the math, you take $49 for that lifetime deal times 8,000 customers is basically $400,000 in total sales. And if AppSumo's keeping about 70%, you would make somewhere in the 100 to 150K from that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Second deal was a bit different percentage, but around that.
No, good way to do it if you can make the numbers work. So 3,000 recurring customers now today, and what are they paying on average per month?
So right now they're around like something in dollars. It would be maybe like $60 or something.
Okay, and what do they get? So we haven't actually talked about what Lemlist does. What does Lemlist do? What are they paying for?
So Lemlist basically allows you to automate your multi-channel outreach strategy. So you can start sending emails, sending like messages on LinkedIn, create tasks, for your sales team, so they can do calls as well. That's like the latest version of Lemlist, which is called Lemlist 3.0, where we're basically like we have onboarded about like 200 companies on that on that latest version, and it's not live for everyone yet. Because initially, as you know, we were just focusing on cold emails, and now we're expanding towards like the entire like sales automation. Because as you can guess, we're going a bit up market on the customers. So yeah.
And you're still bootstrapped, right?
Yeah, still bootstrapped. So basically, like right now, we're making like each month we're making a bit more than $100,000 profits.
Yep.
So because like our fixed costs are very small, like we spend only money on the servers. We don't spend any money on paid ads or paid acquisition or anything else. And our employees are contractors. So essentially it's like the biggest chunk of the fixed cost is basically the founder salary. But the rest is profit and in the bank. So we're pretty like happy with cash.
What do you, as a founder, that I assume you and your two other co-founders, you guys own 100% of the company basically, right?
Yeah, we all have like a third of the company.
Yeah. So when you guys get together and go, hey guys, we have an extra $100,000 in the bank. Now there's like $700,000 sitting in the bank. That's obviously not a good use of cash to let it just sit there outside of making you feel comfortable, which there is value to that. But what do you do with it? Do you give it out as dividends? Do you reinvest it? What do you do with it?
Yeah, so we take the cash for ourselves and make like so. First thing is we try to make ourselves very comfortable because, as you said, I think like being in comfort with your company, I think it's quite nice because you make like smarter decision. Second is give ourselves dividends and do like some of our personal investments, so buying houses, etc. And then obviously it's a big part right now, especially with the new strategy, and it's to invest in hiring more people. So that's why, we go like from 12 to like 19 in the next months. Mm-hmm. It's basically to start growing, hiring, and building like better processes to grow, to keep the same growth rate, essentially.
Mm-hmm. What would you value the company at today if you were going to value it?
I think, to be honest, like it's basically like, let's say we're north of 2 million ARR, but I think it's like 7 million. 7 to 8 million. If I have to be very like reasonable, I would say, because it would be like something. If you're like super reasonable on our market and based on our growth, I would say like 3 to 4x ARR is something that's like would say low end. 5x would be high ends. So yeah.
So if someone listening right now, there's a lot of private equity folks that listen, came and offered 7 million all cash up front. So it was a clean deal, no earnout. I mean, would you have to think seriously about that with your co-founders?
No, no. It's just because like our strategy is really like long term, and there is so many things that needs to be changed especially in the sales automation space, where I really feel like a lot of people have said so much bullshit about the entire sales field overall. It's I think there's a lot of wrong things. Like a lot of people think that to be a good salesman, you need to be like a man, you need to be strong, you need to play sports, etc., etc. But actually, when you look at, like all the studies, you see that best salespeople are introvert, best salespeople are usually women. And you are like, for me, it's like just a fake image of what sales is about. Lots of people think that sales, it's like ABC, always be closing. Actually, it's the opposite. You should always be helping people, try to provide as much value as possible, etc. And I think like we have so much more to do in that space that we want to stay and grow the company for at least like 3 to 5 years. And later on, when I would feel like we've done a great job and things are changing, maybe, I'll consider like an exit.
Can you correlate your belief that the current knowledge out there about sales is not accurate with real product decisions you made in the past 4 months at Lemlist? Can you talk about one of them?
Yeah, definitely. So for example, if you look like at most companies, what they're saying at their tagline is like, put your sales on autopilot. First of all, like that's what they focused on. We focused on the relationship, and an implementation was our key differentiator. So from day one, we implemented dynamic photos and videos that you could implement straight into your emails, just to make the email more human. And we started, from the ground up in the product, building our product around that, helping people, build warmer relationship, giving them tips within the product. Right now, we're also going to start like putting some gamification within the task people have to do. And because I think like sales is amazing for gamification, because the better you do actions and spend time on researching your prospect, the higher your booking rate is going to be. And hence your bonus will be higher as well. So I think it's like literally the best place to have fun while doing something, and care about people. And that's basically all the things we're implementing. So small things within the platforms that makes it more human, like little comments whenever you're doing specific actions, etc., just so people feel more comfortable and happier in their job also.
Are customers sticking once they start paying? What's your revenue churn look like on a gross basis?
So like for me, I don't think it's a question we can answer like straight to the point, just because like it's I prefer answering in terms of persona and churn. So basically sales team that are with more than 5 salespeople. So from 5 to let's say 30 or 50, that's kind of our sweet spot. And those people are not churning. Like we have negative net MRR churn. So something around like -5, -6%. However, if you look at also a big chunk of our business, which are smaller like business, so I would say like startup, less than 10 people, etc. The churn is around like maybe 10%, but the net MRR churn is basically around like maybe 3 to 4%, because we see those people, for example, as I said, they're gonna say, "Hey guys, we love the product. We're churning because it's August." But no worries, we're coming back in September. And they come back in September, And sometimes it's like, oh yeah, we finished our campaigns. We're going to come back in 1 or 2 months. And you see them come back. So every time I look at so we have like a questionnaire when someone churns. And every time I see like someone leaving, it's usually because they're going to come back and they're just short on cash or just, like watching their spendings. But for the customers we're really targeting and where we're really focusing, they don't leave.
What are you paying fully weighted to get a new $80 a month customer? Would you say?
So our CAC, it's difficult because, as I said, like we don't spend anything on ads. So our CAC is more linked to, let's say, like the time we spent and based on our salaries. So I don't really put a number on it, to be honest. I could say, based on like
how many community managers you have or something.
Yeah, exactly. So for example, our sales rep, for example, she's gonna bring like she's gonna bring. So I would say like, it depends again on the size of the customers, but she can bring maybe like 40 to 50 like new seats every month. So it's like something around like 2K divided by 50, you see. So it's like $40, something like that.
Obviously those make a lot of sense. Last question I want to talk to you about before we wrap up. There's a lot of B2B SaaS brands that are trying to create communities. Some just flop and it's horrendous. Others do extremely well. I'd put you in the extremely well category, just watching you build community. What's sort of been, there is no secret. I mean, it's hard work and it takes it takes a lot of your time. But where should a founder that wants to do what you do in terms of community building, where should they spend the majority of their time?
To be honest, I think it's really like, first it's spending time with your users and understanding what their need is. And then is keep providing value and don't get discouraged. Because like right now, when people like go to our communities, they see like almost 10,000 people. They see the videos that I post get like thousands of views, a lot of engagement, or like, oh yeah, it's a great community. If you scroll down to the very, very bottom of the videos, I was posting videos with like 10 views, one comment.
I remember those. And I'm like, I'm going to watch carefully and see if he stays consistent. And that's going to be the leading indicator of if 2 years from now, these are going to be getting 10K views.
Yeah. So you see, like, it's really, I think, about consistency. And again, like for me, community has never been something where I wanted to measure like the ROI. I just know within like me that it's going to bring something long term. And if I keep providing value to our users, because, like I see a lot of people and a lot of companies that want to be like super data driven, and I like it, but I think in some cases it's not possible. For example, if you just say like, okay, what's the benefit of someone in the community? You could measure people in the community that became customers. Fine, that's a good indicator. But do you measure all the people from the community that are talking to other people about your brand? So it's like you're going to put that in word of mouth when actually it comes from the community.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's a bit complex. And I think it's at some point, as a business owner, when you think you're doing the right thing, you just go with it and stick to it.
Tactical question here. Where in your onboarding process do you let people know about the Facebook community and encourage them to join?
It's around the second email, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So, which is how many days usually after they start the trial?
Yeah, 2 days. Yeah.
2
days
interesting.
After the first day. Yeah.
Do you
we
know
really
off
want
top
to push people to the community.
Do you know off the top of your head, if you send 100 of those emails in a day, how many will go join the community?
I think it's around like 10%. We have 10% click rate, so it's around that number.
That's healthy. And why Facebook versus a Slack group or Comsor or one of these other platforms, LinkedIn groups?
So LinkedIn groups are terrible. They're like so bad with it. Like the reach is just very, very sad. I think Facebook is great because you can do live stream in Facebook, and you get also like all the basically live streaming in Facebook is very easy because you have people asking questions. You also keep the video on Facebook, so you have the social proofs, etc. That's something I don't see in Slack. It's basically the social proof, which I think sometimes is lacking. And for example, I know that everyone goes on Facebook and on Messenger, whereas I wouldn't go on Slack just to chill and be in a very friendly way. Like I have some Slack communities that I visit, but my life is more on Facebook if I want to see like updates from friends, Instagram as well, but still,
All good. You guys got to check out this guy's Instagram. He's going to make you feel, I was telling him, he makes me feel fat and tired and sleepy with all the running and canoeing and basketballing and all this stuff. All right, Guillaume, let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Actually, like I read Lost and Founder from Ren Fishkin. Really enjoyed it, so highly recommend it.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying besides Rand?
I like to follow you, Nathan, to be honest.
I'm all kinds of crazy. Be careful.
No, really, because in terms of content creation and also how you manage your schedule and everything, I think it's quite impressive.
Thank you. That's nice of you. Number 3, besides Lemlist, what's your favorite online tool for building the company?
Notion is really like the best tool, like for the team, building processes, etc. It's our go-to tool. Yeah.
Guillaume, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
8, a good 8. Yeah.
That's good. And situation, married, single, kids?
Single.
Okay. No kids running around?
No kids that I know of.
All right. And how old are you, Guillaume?
I'm 29.
29. All right. Last question. What's something you wish you knew 9 years ago when you were 20?
Start your own company sooner. Just go out there, fail, and then one day eventually you'll get there.
Guys, Lemlist is helping sales team do sales the right way. You don't have to be extroverted. You don't have to be crazy. You don't have to always be closing. You can just add value. He's building a product with that in mind. They were doing about $600,000 in terms of ARR back in December of 2019. Now, just call it 8-9 months later, they're already up to about 2 million in ARR with eyes on 2.5 or 3 million in ARR by the end of this year. They've done this all bootstrap, profiting almost 100 grand per month, going to the bottom line. Team of 12 people, 5 engineers, 1 quota-carrying sales rep. Plans to expand the team here to introduce some new product lines, but recently Lemlist 3.0 just came out. I encourage you guys to check it out. Guillaume, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks a lot, Nathan.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.